All right, everybody, welcome back to Dad and Daughter Collectibles. Today is a talk to you video, so if you're looking for card openings, that won't be today. We are going to show you some cards, though, which is pretty exciting because we found some cool stuff at our local card shop here in Madison. But kind of go through topics I wanted to cover. So PSA, we have sent some cards into PSA to get graded. I want to talk about our process for doing that as new collectors and why we decided to do it and when we decided to do it. My general thoughts on grading and why, in general, I think it's good. Although there's plenty of people who know more than me, but I think it's always good to have your personal take on something and certainly adjust it along the way if you find it's not what you thought. We're going to start with some cards that Addy got at the card shop today, so that's going to be one of our starting points. We're going to end with just sort of yeah, she's here with me, so you can see her there, but she's off to the side, ready to showcase those on our wall there. And then I'm going to end with some updates on just buying singles. We're going to start buying some singles, and I'll get into that here in a second. So let's start with Addy. So we, as part of her, so if you've watched, by the time this comes out, the Donruss Mega Box opening will be out, and Addy opened a Michael Penix Red. We are keeping that one because we're going to grade it, which I'll talk about in a minute. But her and Rylan both opened really big cards. The Penix Red, the Jaden Daniels Pink. I want these guys to have collections. If I buy stuff with our family budget and they open all the good stuff there, and then when they buy stuff for themselves, they never get anything, it's kind of like, yeah, right? It's just not a good feeling, right? I want them to have collections that they can be proud of and slowly build up over time. So their reward for opening those big cards was we went out this weekend. They got some Topps Chrome, but Addy got a blaster because instead of getting the Mega Box for Chrome, she found singles, and she got an absolutely killer deal at our local card shop. So we're going to go through what she found there. These are all WNBA. So let's go ahead and get started. The cards there are in big white boxes, the standard sorting boxes. 5 cards for $4, 15 cards for $10. We ended up with 15, and you are going to be surprised at what we found there. Go ahead, Addy.
And how much were each of the cards?
So it's like ends up being 65 cents or so per card, or roughly 65 to 70 cents per card.
And we looked one of them up, and it paid for like the whole thing.
That's right. So let's get started one at a time. First card.
We got this Dana Taurasi Red.
That's right.
Ice.
Red cracked ice. Diana Taurasi from the premier level. In great shape.
The corner
just retired. 65 cents, folks. I mean, that's a great deal, right?
I love this card.
Go ahead. Let's do the next one.
This one, I have never seen a card like this ever. So we got a courtside pink cracked ice. And it's of Tika Pinheiro.
It's Pinheiro?
She's not a well-known player, but, it's a really, really cool card.
She's doing great commentary. Absolutely. Courtsides are the hardest pull of the 3 types. Concourse, Premier, Courtside. So that's the hardest pull and a parallel of it. So that's a couple dollar card. You can go on eBay and find there's some comps that sold for a couple bucks. So it's just a sharp card as well.
This card. We got Kate Martin on the future.
That's right, the future insert. So Kate Martin is a very collectible rookie.
She's a really good rookie, too.
And so that's a really great one. Again, 65 cents.
Yeah, I love that card.
Let's see what's next.
I don't know if you guys know, but I love Enfuegos. And we found some Enfuegos. So, and the last card.
Yes, the Enfuegos. Sorry, I had to stop an interruption.
We got.
Why don't you show both of those?
The same time?
Yep.
So we got 2 Enfuegos. We've got 3 Enfuegos, but
we're going to show 2 right now.
Yeah. And I think I am going to start an Enfuego.
We were thinking about it now that we've got a few, and maybe we'll stop back in and see if they get any more. So go ahead, show the ones we got.
We got Lexi Brown and Alyssa Thomas in Enfuegos. It's
a really cool insert from Select. Real sharp looking. Reminds me similar to the Groovies in Prism. So as those Prisms come out, We may try to collect both of those. Caitlin Clark's the big one in both, obviously, and we have the Caitlin Clark Groovy. We don't have the Enfuego, but maybe we'll go for those.
So, love these. We next is the premier level pink cracked ice Nika Meal.
That's right. Nika Meal is one of the more collectible rookies from this last year's rookie class. So the premier level in the pink parallel cracked ice is a 65 cents. Can't beat it.
And then coming back to her, we also got
That's right.
a snapshot of her. Nika Meal. Nice card. Okay. I think we're starting to get into the good stuff.
Getting into the good stuff now?
Getting into the good stuff. We have not got that much Cameron Brinks in Select. We got one pink cracked ice of her. We didn't get any more until now. We got a base Cameron Brink.
Great find for 65 cents. It's a sharp card. I will say, looking at the selects versus the prism design, the prisms right now are going for more. Once the blasters hit, those singles should come down in price some. With that said, I think the select is a better design than the prism. I just think they're sharper.
I agree.
So that may be something we look to do is go move to buy more select singles and offload some of our prism. We'll see. But I think the selects just look sharper.
So
there's a white Caitlin Clark to 99 that I think is just a gorgeous card. That would be, if I were to say, if I had one wish list card, look, gold vinyls, 101s, those would all be great, right? And a semi-affordable card that I would invest in right now would be that white select Caitlin Clark to 99. Go ahead.
Next, we got another Cameron Brink.
On the premier level. There's in the purple jersey. Again, a little more rare than the concourse, so absolutely 65 cents, folks. Keep going.
Next, if you don't like her, okay. We got Rikia Jackson on the Flash.
So Rikia Jackson is in that top 10 set of rookies. She plays with Cameron. Again, Flash parallel of a nice rookie. Can't beat it.
Next, this is the card we were looking for off camera.
Yes.
We got this Nika.
Nope, that's Camila Cardoso. Check this one out. This was out of Prism Draft Picks.
Cardoso. And it can't be any better. But it's numbered
to 99.
7 of 99.
Look at for 65 cents. The cheapest buy it now on eBay is $5, which again, even if it's not worth $5, it's like a numbered rookie. She plays on the Chicago Sky with Angel Reese. I mean, absolutely fantastic deal.
We got
another nice one. Yep.
We got 3 Rikia Jacksons. We got Red Wave, I think, right?
Yep. Red Wave.
Rikia Jackson.
Those are not numbered. Those are, I believe, out of hobby boxes, but they are, I mean, again, a solid rookie in a parallel, 65 cents.
Gotta love it.
What's coming up? Gotta get a sneak peek. Okay, so this was the first card. I was going through the box. This is the first one I came across, and I said, holy smokes, this card is... I gotta look through here some more, because I think this card is like $10. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we found a lot of good cards. And the first card my dad found was this card, and he's like, you gotta get it. So we got a Rikia Jackson court side.
That's right. So the court sides are the rarest of the 3, Concourse Premier Courtside. And it's really weird. The court sides are the base court sides are like just as hard to hit, if not a little harder to hit than the parallels because of the way the packs are stacked. So we have an Angel Reese. I think we only have two base court sides and we have more parallel court sides than the base. And Rakia Jackson's rookie. One of these has sold in the last 60 days for $15. We got it for 65 cents.
Next, now we're starting to get into our Cameron.
So yeah, I think how many we have two left?
Yeah.
So we have two Camerons left as a spoiler, but both of these are awesome. I mean, again, these were both 65 cents. Take it over, Addy.
Okay. We got a Cameron Brink fireworks. And I didn't notice until we bought these in the car that it's a silver.
I knew it was a silver, but she didn't.
I
So
didn't.
it's a parallel Cameron Brink in I think one of their best inserts, and the fireworks looks really good as a silver or a lot of the different parallels. So a Cameron Brink parallel, 65 cents.
From Prison Graphics.
And then the Rakia Jackson courtside is definitely, I think, the most expensive, but this was the one I was most surprised to find in there. Go ahead.
Didn't find. Okay, so I really wanted to at least get a base, Cameron, while we were there, and we were going through the stack, looking through the stack. My dad finds in a Fuego. I'm like, oh, that's nice. Maybe I could get it. I look at the name. Cameron Brink.
Cameron Brink in Fuego. What a card to find for 65 cents. Again, right now you can go on eBay. I think raw, these are $6 to $8.
And I love Fuegos, and she's one of my favorite people to watch play. So.
Yep. So absolutely amazing. So I mean, that's got to be $30 to $40 worth of cards, I think, and we got it for $10. So I'm definitely going to be stopping back there. If you are in the Wisconsin area, Madison area, Rabbit Hole Cards, East Town Mall, he's got cards out. Usually not busy. On the weekend, he gets a little more busy, but we were just riffling through the bins. He had a bunch. There was some other stuff I was looking at buying, but I was holding off until I made a few sales. I may go back there and pick up a couple cards that he had as well. Reasonable prices on his singles. He is a card shop. This is not dogging him, so don't take it that way. It's a tough business to be in, right? So he does have a small markup on some of the blaster boxes and stuff. But any support you can give to local businesses, I'll be going back to look for singles. I bought, a lot of my plastic cases from him. Really provides a great service. So if you're in town, if you're local, check out Rabbit Hole Cards in East Town Mall in Madison. All right, so let's talk about PSA. We sent in 4 cards. They are currently at GameStop. I stopped at GameStop today and checked with them. They are going out in the mail tomorrow. So our first submission for graded cards is going out. Before I say I highly recommend it, GameStop seems like a pretty good deal. $20.99 per card, so call it $21. If you're a GameStop member, they pay for all the shipping. I was like, I've seen a couple people who have coupons to grade with PSA. You get a $25 off coupon. So basically you get a card graded for free. And I said, well, you know what? I'll try it myself for $25 because that's how much a card costs to grade. Well, it costs you $20 to get the card shipped back. So it still costs me $20 to get the card graded. And I got to pay to ship it out. GameStop does all that for me. So on paper, GameStop seems like a good deal. Once we get the results back, assuming we get all the cards back and graded and it all works well, I'll report back on that. The 4 cards we got graded, so just 4. Caitlin Clark Mojo opened on this channel to 25, numbered 25 of 25. I looked that card over a dozen times, several minutes of time, under light, various angles. The only small flaw I saw with it was top to bottom centering on the back of the card. My measurements with a ruler showed the bottom at 4 millimeters, the top at 5. They just changed their standards, meaning they're looking for 55-45 centering. They also say there's discretion involved. If you do the math, 4 divided by 9, so one side is 4, one side is 5, added up it's 9. Basic math, 4 divided by 9 is 44.4 repeating percent, meaning how close are they going to grade this? It's outside of 40, 55, 45. Is that a problem that it's 44.4%? It's also on the back, which I would argue is there's more wiggle room on the back since it is not that is not the side of the card that is displayed. The front is perfect in terms of centering. The corners are sharp. The edges are good. It is the best high end card we've opened. And if it does not come back at 10, it should at least get a 9. I would be disappointed if it didn't came back at 10 because I don't know what else. I don't know what else you're supposed to do to open up a card that looks that good. If it comes back a 9, I don't know how you open a 10 at that point. So that's one card we sent in. Another card we opened on camera, the Caitlin Clark Floating Hearts from the Caitlin Clark collection. That is going in. That is a paper card with foiling. One of the reasons we are sending that one in is a bit of a test. I think it looks good. The edges are so hard to tell because some of the hearts get up on the edge, and is that a problem with the edge? Is that just the heart reflecting? It's hard to tell. So this is a bit of a test for me. I think the card looks good. The centering is good. The edges look good to me. What else? There's no surface issues. It all looks good. I'm hoping that one comes back at 10. Addy for Christmas from Santa opened 3 Caitlin Clark collection packs, and one of them had a fearless insert. I looked that one over really well. She opened up a Razzle Dazzle as well. The Razzle Dazzle, that was not at Christmas. That was a different time, right? And the Razzle Dazzle, compared to some other PSA 10s online, the centering was just a little off. I recommended trying the Fearless. The Fearless looks good. That's about a $15 card. In a PSA 10 can go up to 60 to 75. So that was Addy's first foray. She paid for that herself. So hopefully that one works out. And then another sort of tester, Bo Nix Base Donruss. It's a paper card. Centering, it's as flawless of a paper card as I've opened. I've gone through a lot of Donruss. Most of them have centering issues. A lot of them have cornering and edge issues. It's the most perfect, decent Donruss card we had, and I wanted to send it in as a test so that I knew, is this a 10, right? That's kind of the question. If this gets a 10, then I know what I'm looking for. If this is a 9, then quite frankly, I have no idea what I'm looking for when it comes to paper cards. So those are the 4 we sent back. We should get them back in 60 days, 45 to 60 days. I've heard PSA is going a little faster, so maybe even a little faster. So we will see, and there will be a video on it when we do. General thoughts on grading. It took me a long time to get to these 4 cards. I only have a couple other cards I would consider grading. I find enough flaws with almost every card we open to basically rule it out and say the best it can be is a 9. So I am extremely picky. Every card I think has a chance at a 10, I put off to the side in sort of a pile of potential. And I will look at those cards every couple days under light, different types of light, repeatedly. I found that we had a Paige Buchers to 249 that I looked over 5 times that I thought was great. Paige Becker, not Buchers. On like the 6th or 7th time, I found a little nick in the corner that basically it's the coating just didn't go all the way to the corner. So there's like this little dot, and I'm like, I don't know if they see that it's a 9, right? Like I have to believe it's a 9 if they see it. There's always the argument of if they don't see it, but I generally err on the side of they're going to see it. It's the 9 is the best case scenario. So unless the 9 makes sense, generally hold off. I'm really just looking for those 10s. I look at a ton of PSA. What? Yeah, go ahead. Addy has a comment.
And trust me, he's super picky. I had like 2 cards that we thought were worth grading, and then he looked at them, and then he found all the flaws.
I find a flaw. I mean, like, I guess it's one of those things where you're already going to wait 60 days. Sending it in and getting it back and have it be like an 8 would just be disappointing because you just didn't spend enough time on it, right? I look at a ton of graded cards online. I don't own any graded ones. We haven't bought any yet, but you can go and see generally examples of the cards you have online. Somebody's probably gotten it graded, and you can zoom in on the scan on eBay, and you can see these things, and you can look to see, okay, if I think this is a centering problem, what does a PSA 10 look like in this? And that's how we ruled out the Razzle Dazzle. You could tell at a certain part, the edge of the card was centered incorrectly because the 10s had a cutoff where a certain symbol on the card was cut off at a certain point, and ours were not cut off at that point. So again, I thought, why take the chance? The other reason I'm very picky and some of the subjectivity in grading that comes in. So first and foremost, for PSA, they have a really tough job. There's a lot of every comment, every video, there's always comments of PSA is trying to control the population. Somebody's had a bad mood and they gave you bad grades one day. As a manager of employees for the last 10, 15 years of my career, trying to get 15 to 20 people on the same page to do things exactly the same way each day is really hard to do. I have to imagine there are several hundred graders, if not close to 500 to 1,000. Getting all of them to perfectly follow the rules and grade exactly right has got to be a real challenge. And I'm going to show you guys a couple examples of cards we have or very close to them and why I think this is really a difficult job and why I think you have to be really careful with grading. So I'm going to flip the window here. We're going to do a flipping back and forth, and this is the first time I'm doing this. So, all right. So we have this this Enfuego of Cameron Brink, and hopefully this keeps recording. This is my first time doing this. So hopefully it's on the window right now. And what I want to do is zoom in because I kind of thought ours had a little edge and a few issues that were minor, but enough to keep it as a 9. This is a Gem Mint 10. I'm just going to flip back and make sure. I think we're still on it, so hopefully we're good. This is a Gem Mint 10, graded Gem Mint 10. If you scroll in and look at the surface here, hopefully this is big enough. The front actually looks pretty good. You can see little edging right here, right by my magnifying glass, a little bit at the bottom. Again, there's probably a little margin for error there. And up here in the corner, you see this little white spot underneath the magnifying glass. Sorry, mute my phone. But, okay, there's a little margin for error, right? So I generally have no margin for error, but understandable, right? The question I have, why is this card a 10, is on the back on this left edge. Look at this left edge. This is not shine from a camera or a flash. This left edge is really bad. I don't know how this card was graded a 10. If I had a card like this, I wouldn't even think to send it in. Again, this is not, there are some times where you look at a photo and you go, oh, I can't really tell from the photo if, like look at this corner. Is that perfectly sharp? I don't know. I'll give the photograph a bit of a margin of error and say this one's a little sharper than the photograph portrays it. But this edge sucks, to be quite honest. And if I bought this as a 10 and I got this, I would be disappointed. I would not send in a card like this, yet it shows you that in the grading process, there is this margin of error that exists, that this card is a 10. Show ours, Addy. I'm going to flip over. Let me come back here. We should go back to ours. Oops, hold on. I want to keep that on. Turn that off. Okay, let's show ours. So I'm trying to, let me take a look at it real quick off camera just because I think ours has.
Show a different Cameron.
Yeah, in the meantime. Yeah, so let's look at this top edge on the back. See if we can get that zoomed in there. I'm not sure how well you can see that on camera. See if it focuses a little bit. Move it a little bit further away, Addy. A little bit further. A little bit. There, that's good right there. You can see little chipping on the top there, right? And if there's any chipping, I've seen so many graders come back and go, this card's a 10, and then they reveal it and it's a 9, and then they look and they go, oh yeah, I guess there's a little chipping there. So like, if that other one's a 10, this absolutely could be a 10, but I don't know that it's worth sending in. I think it's one of those where you just have to really like the card and hope for a 10, and to me, hope is not a strategy. So we love this card. We're going to keep it. Maybe at some point, if we ever win the lottery, we can grade it, but for right now, we're not going to grade it. We'll go from there. All right. The other example I have that's really interesting is an Angel Reese autograph. So this will be posted after we post that video. We opened an Angel Reese autographs from Prism Draft Picks. Let me come back. This is the Brink. Let me go over to, this is not the exact one we have. This is 1 to 11, but is the same style. Draft Pick autographs. This is also a Gem Mint 10. And I want to show you guys something here. So they talk about this 55-45 centering, right? And when there's a white border or any sort of border, I think that margin of error makes a lot of sense. However, in this case, I don't know that 55-45 makes sense. Over here on the left, you look here. This white line coming off, this silver line here coming off the on the pattern here, goes to the corner, but does not get to the corner. And you have this little gap of red. This is a red shimmer. You have this gap of red right here, right? Over on the other side, that silver line goes above the corner. Even if this is 55-45, I feel like this is an aesthetic issue with the card. This is not a perfect card, right? Even though it could be within that margin, this this is a problem to me. I don't think this could ever be a 10, in my opinion. Yet, it is. This is a PSA 10. So, Addy, let's show ours, because we have that exact same issue. Up,
Where?
yep, just don't cover. So, there, perfect. Up, right there. You can see our left corner, that does not go down to the edge. We have orange, right? That before you get to the edge. So that silver line goes and stops short of the corner, and there is a, one pulsar or two, 1.5 pulsars of orange up a little bit. Perfect. And then look at that right corner. It goes, that silver line goes all the way to the corner. There's no orange between the edge of the card and that silver line. It goes right there. So again, I don't think this should be a 10, yet I have an example of a card exactly like ours that is a 10. So what am I supposed to do? If I get it, should I send it in and get it graded? What if it comes back a 9? Well, I can point to this example and say, well, here's another card that's exactly the same as ours, but it's a 9. What gives, right? It's a little frustrating to try to be picky, but then basically find counter examples to what you're being picky about, and you just sort of go, okay, I guess there is this margin of error that exists, and depending on who the grader is and how they interpret the rules, your score can be different. We are not going to send this Angel Reese. It's a great card on itself. I would love to be a 10. I just think that if I were a grader, the best this card can ever be is a 9, and I don't think it's worth getting graded if it's just a 9.
What if it came back a PSA 10? Her number's 10. Would that be a number match?
No, it would not be a number match for a PSA 10. All right, so those are sort of what I'm struggling with grading. I'm very, very picky. I find examples of things that are counter to what I'm finding, and in general, I'm just going to err on the side of caution because I can't afford to be sending $200 in cards to PSA a month and have them all coming back 9s. I got to get some 10s. I'm going to flip some of these cards. I'm going to keep some of these cards, and I don't want a ton of 7s and 8s because I'm being hopeful. Is my general rule of thumb. All right, last thing I want to talk about. We're going to do some buying of singles. So as I've been trying to sell cards on eBay, I've noticed some things. There are times cards go for way less than what they should. And generally those are auctions. And I'm going to try to start sniping some of those and start doing some flipping. Maybe we'll keep some of the cards for ourselves. But Addy was so successful finding these cards in the card shop the other day. I was successful last night. So when I get this, I'll put it on camera. We got a Tiger Prism of Angel Reese for $26. There are multiple examples of that card going for one for 56 in a different version. Another was a buy it now with a best offer for under it was $100 crossed out, said best offer accepted. Generally, if you're selling a card for 100, your best offer is going to be above 80. So I got it for 26 bucks. Going to try to flip that card. I'm going to try to do some lowballing on auctions to try to supplement our buying income. I used to play Magic the Gathering, and I made a fair amount of money flipping cards this way. I learned the market for certain cards. I knew their variations. I knew how much they were worth. I knew how much dealers were paying for them. And I could go out, spend a couple hours a week, put in lowball offers on all the auctions, lose 98% of them, but every once in a while you win one. And then you can do what you want. Keep the cards, flip them, whatever. And we're going to try to do some of that. So you may see a little less opening. We still want to open because opening is so fun. It's just, every day, I'd open every day if I could afford it, but I can't. But we're going to try to do some single buying as well. So we will let you guys know how our progress on that goes. I'm excited to do more of that. I've got a couple of small windfalls of money coming in March. And we're definitely going to use some money to try to win some auctions. And we can do a couple things. Flip those cards, keep those cards, or if they're in really good shape, we could grade them and try to flip them for even more. So a lot of opportunity there. And we're going to try that. So that is all the stuff I wanted to talk about today. If you've made it this far, really appreciate it. I would love to hear your thoughts on any of these topics, from the cards we chose to grade to my thoughts on grading. Where do you fall on grading? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Are you like me and you're super picky? Do you just want to keep stuff for your PC? You don't really care what it gets? Would love to hear that. Tell me what you think of Addy's deal. I mean, you gotta love that deal, right? I don't know how you could boo that deal. That's what she got on those cards for $10 total.
Okay,
Uh, for what?
like buying singles, but
Well,
that one.
no, yeah, but I mean, if we found a Caitlin Clark in there, I don't know if that. There are certain things I'm willing to take advantage of people for, and this guy was just trying to get rid of cards, so I get it. If we found a card in there that was $50 or $100, like I don't know that I would have the moral conscience to be like, hey, I'd at least let him know, like, hey, I think this card is worth more than you're selling it for. Do you really want to sell it for this price? If he did, I'd say great. If he didn't, I would totally understand. Last thing, if you have comments, have you bought singles? Have you been successful in that realm? Are there certain players you look for? Are there certain techniques you do? Would love to hear your thoughts on that as well. So appreciate you listening this long. Give us a like and subscribe. We are trying to grow the channel. If you like this sort of content, let us know that. We can do more of this stuff. It doesn't have to be opening every time. I'm a talker. I'm introverted, but I like talking about things I know about and likes, as you can tell. So I'm more than happy to talk about these things. And again, I love to build some friendships and some people I get to know online. It's as I get older and I've really focused on my career and my kids. I don't have a lot of people I talk to on a day to day basis. I love my kids and family. It'd be nice to talk to some other people though occasionally as well. So give us a like and subscribe. Check out our eBay store. A lot of stuff there. It helps the channel as well. And remember,